people have commonly referred to my commentary. Good morning to y'all! It's me, PYTyinna, the Around-the-Lectual Girl, and I'm serving up hot morning tea 7 days a week. You can follow me on all social media platforms at official Girl and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Around-the-Lectual Girl.
So, who is PYTyinna?
So, PYTyinna is me. I'm a 29-year-old wife. I'm a mother of twins. I have a 10-year-old son. I am a career woman. I'm a creative. I video blog 7 days a week. I work Monday through Friday, and I even have a weekend job.
What is the story behind Around-the-Lectual Girl Brand?
Okay, so I wish I had a fancy story for this, but I really don't. So, Around-the-Lectual Girl Brand was created on accident. Like I said, I'm 29 years old now, but I left home at 17. I'm from a small little Louisiana town called Morgan City, Louisiana, and there's not much opportunity. So I left there early to try to attain a lot of my goals. And what I found was I was very ill prepared for the world. I was met with a lot of obstacles along the way. And at some point, I got discouraged. And I turned to different places to find resources. And I found that what I was looking for wasn't available. I was really discouraged by a lot of the courses that was offered. And all I was finding was home buying classes and fix your credit and budget. Meanwhile, I'm trying to pay the rent. I'm not trying to budget. I barely got the money to cover my basic expenses. So I wasn't able to find what I needed. And when I did find different support groups and things like that, it seemed super sugar-coated to me. So one day, I was working a dead-end job that I really didn't like. I was in a, not a great place in my life financially, period, at all. And I was in the Wendy's drive-thru, getting a 4 for $4. And God honest truth, I was getting a 4 for $4 and I hit record on my phone. And I started recording my thoughts just as kind of like some therapy. And it turned into Around-the-Lectual Girl Brand. So on accident, I created exactly what it was that I was looking for.
So by definition, what is an Around-the-Lectual Girl?
So I finally came up with a solid definition for this, and you're not gonna make me mess it up, so hold on one second, I'll be right back. So, my solid definition of Around-the-Lectual Girl. First of all, let me say that Around-the-Lectual Girl, the name itself came from my personality. So it is a mesh of the word, the phrase Around-the-Lectual Girl, which kind of comes from my persona. Is something I get a lot from people. And then also intellectual, which people have commonly referred to my commentary as such. So I kind of just meshed the two and came up with Around-the-Lectual Girl. And in a way, it kind of just became a reflection of who I am. So I came up with a definition for Around-the-Lectual Girl, which is one who is confident, independent, and driven. She possesses a high level of intellect, a sharp attitude, and the life of the party. She defines her own definition of beauty, rocking everything from Chucks with a little dirt at the toe to heels. She is bursting with personality and owns every last bit of it. That's the definition of Around-the-Lectual Girl.
Did you ever see yourself being a video blogger or podcaster?
Absolutely not. So I actually was super into real estate and design and interior design, which I still am. Tried my hand at being a realtor, it didn't work out for me. Actually, I failed epically, but that's okay. I never seen podcasting in my future at all because honestly speaking, it was like my biggest fear ever. Because when I moved out of Morgan City, I moved to Belle Rouge. I went to LSU. Woo-hoo.
Go Tigers!
Go Tigers! I went to LSU, and it was a whole different world, even though it was only about an hour and a half away from where I grew up. And people started to tell me for the first time that I had an accent. So from that point up until recently, actually, my voice and my accent, the fact that I had a very heavy accent, always made me uncomfortable speaking publicly. So it's very odd that podcasting and video blogging end up kind of being my thing. Came completely out of left field. Like I said, this was on accident. But you know what? It's probably the love that I never knew.
What do you hope to achieve through your brand?
Through my brand, I hope that I can be to others what I couldn't find. Like I said, I searched for a really long time for something that would help me when I was losing hope in ever achieving my goals. You know, not coming from the most opportunistic environment has definitely had its effect on me a lot of times. Like I said, especially when I got outside of my environment and realized how ill prepared I was, how many opportunities other people had that I didn't have, and I really felt inadequate. So what I hope to achieve through my brand, if nothing else, is to let people like me know that you can create the life that you want to live. You don't have to play the cards that life dealt you.
What motivates you?
This is gonna sound so ass backwards, but my biggest motivator is fear. I am terrified to leave this earth and not live. I've never known what it was like to have leisure. I've been working since I was 16 years old. I don't think I never not had a job, if that's even the way you're supposed to say that. But I want to know what it's like to experience that. I want my kids to know what it's like to be able to tap into your creativity without having to stifle it because you have to pay the bills or because you're dealing with 1,000,001 other things. So my biggest fear is not being able to experience that, and it keeps me getting up every single day doing, I don't even know what. Sometimes I don't even have a direction, but I figure if I keep on moving, eventually something will pop up.
Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years?
3 years for sure. I hope to be doing my podcast, possibly doing some speaking engagements and events. But I definitely want to be able to speak to an audience at some point. But ultimately, I see myself starting a nonprofit. I think I want to be able to give back and definitely give back to my community. I really want to be the resource that I was looking for that wasn't available. And I'm really passionate about, I guess, just helping people progress. So I guess I would really want to start a nonprofit that focuses on maybe financial literacy, life skills, things like that. I'm no therapist, I'm not even a life coach at this point, but that may be something that I may be interested in 3 to 5 years. But I definitely, my main goal, definitely in 5 years, I want to be able to give a home to a working class family. I want to be able to buy property, and I want to be able to actually donate a home. Not just to anybody, but to people that's actually out here working to achieve something.
What would you say to people who have dreams and may be losing hope in ever obtaining them?
Follow me. No, I'm sure.
You made me say that long ass question again, and then you're gonna do that.
It was fine.
It's gonna stay in here too.
That's fine. No, I would say to people that's losing hope, I've been where you are, and some days I still go back to that place. But I will say the same opportunities that you may think are not attainable are. I know your circumstance sometimes can make you feel like, you may dream about X, Y, and Z, but you have to do this in order to survive. But you can do the same things that other people are doing that may have more opportunity in you. It may take more work. You may have more steps, but that's okay. As long as you're willing to work for it, you can create exactly what it is that you want in this life.
Tell people where to find you.
So, you can find me on all social media platforms at official ATL Girl. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Around-the-Lectual Girl. I'm serving up hot morning teas 7 days a week, so if you need a morning push, you know where to find me. See the hot morning tea? Hot cup with a tea.